will present themselves as we move forward. So we're going to talk about pivoting, how things can change for you. We're going to give you some ideas, some examples, and hopefully help some of you get some ideas on how you can take your business forward and move through the current challenges that we have. So just a quick, one thing I'd just like to do initially is just take you through an idea of, sorry guys, I've just got a slight technical challenge, if you could bear with me a second. So as most of you know, our current, one of our key purposes we've had for some time is to help as many businesses and organisations in Yorkshire receive the valuable support that we have. We are the primary source of effective business education in the UK and here in Yorkshire. So please let us know how we can continue to help you. And please keep joining us at the webinars. Please let us know how we can help. So any information on topics that might be useful to you, challenges that you're facing at the moment, we really are here to help as many people as possible. Please take advantage of these gifted webinars. They're totally complimentary. We're just putting them out there to help as many people as we can. And we now have 15 gifted coaching sessions a week. We just want to help you, whatever type of business, whatever size of business you are, we just want to help you grow, certainly survive initially, then thrive through these current challenges, because we want to help the local community as much as we can. Please let others know that we're providing this gifted support, because we want to build a groundswell of local businesses that can help each other, that we can help and can help each other. So just as we come into, before we start, we've been typically doing this every time we run a webinar. We just want to feel how you're feeling right now. So if in your chat box you could rate yourself out of 10 about how you feel right now, and maybe a comment, what the current feeling is, happy, sad, confident, nervous, any of those sorts of things, be keen to just to get an understanding of where you are right now. So just in your, and if you could make sure that in your chat box it says all panelists and attendees, it allows everyone to see how you're feeling right now. So if you're able to do that, we can all see Mike 6. Thank you, Abdul. Apprehensive, understandably. 8.5, Jason, wonderful. Got a 6. Great, some 7s. Feeling positive, anxious and worried. Totally understand that. Still adjusting and appreciating the time to reassess. Yeah, I think this is the situation we're in. 5, 7 out of 10. A 7. Great. Okay, well, look, what I'm wanting to do over the next hour is just to hopefully, if we can increase you all by a point, we'll have done our job today. So that's the goal, and we'll go straight into where we are. And hi, Tracy, area 6, wonderful. So I just want to take you through something that we've put together to help. This is our path to take you through. Oh, heck, let me turn that off. Oh goodness. Mark, any ideas?
Have you paused your video there, Chris? Just pause it. That's it.
Through this, but what was the lockdown phase? How will we describe the lockdown phase? Well, the lockdown phase is the set of instabilities. Perhaps they'll just let me speak. Lack of surety that has been created as a result of the current outbreak. So not very long ago, when the outbreak was clearly going to have a big impact on us, we were asked to start to change our social behaviours, to isolate ourselves on more and social distance. And very quickly, there was more regulation in enforcing that set of behaviours. We immediately went into the pubs, the clubs, the restaurants being shut down. And only 3 days later, because we clearly weren't, as a nation, adhering to the social distancing, we were then taken into a period of lockdown, where we were asked to self-isolate in our homes. Now, it may be we go to a next stage of enforced lockdown. We've seen in some countries where we've been forced to, and the police will enforce this lockdown with us. Now, we don't know whether that will happen or not. But what we can say about the last 10 days, 2 weeks, is there's been massive change, massive, pretty much daily change, and and change creates instability and insecurity in us. So many of us will have a feeling of fear, of panic, of not really know what to do. And that's totally understandable. But once we get into more stability, even with a changed regime, even in these lockdown situations, eventually most of us will come through that and get a level of stability that allows us to start thinking about the future. And it's really key that we do that. Now, right now, many of us are looking at the financial and personnel issues around our businesses. Some of us having to full lockdown. Some of us are having to go into partial or full layoff or furloughing of our team. And we need to get through that. It's totally understandable. But at some point, and hopefully for many of us that'll be fairly soon, we can look at the next steps. So the next phase for us is to move into what we call the training phase, the training plan. So we now know we're in a new norm. We can start to look at what the future will hold. Now, if you look at the end of the training phase, we've got a star there that says at some point we believe the end of lockdown will be announced for a point in the future. There will be a gap between when the announcement comes and when we're actually allowed to go into business a little bit more as usual. It probably won't be completely back to normal, but we will start to see some changes. So we have a time scale between now and then. Now, you'll have your own view of what that is, but I'd suggest it's no more than a few weeks, maximum months before that happens. So we have a massive opportunity right now.
Hi guys, apologies.
Lockdown or the end of lockdown.
Apologies for the situation. Let me just run this forward. So we'll come through. We're going to come through. So apologies for that. The presentation I actually did a voice recording over this, which we recorded as a video on our YouTube channel. So forgive me for that. But let me just take you through. So the second phase we talked about after lockdown was training. The opportunity there for us is to start looking to the future. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we know at some point in the future, the end of lockdown will be announced. The yellow star, the second yellow star, halfway through the screen. Now at that point, there will be a warming up phase. But ahead of that, we've got a great opportunity to review where we are, to start making our plans, look at what skills we and our team might need to develop to be ready for the future as we come out of these challenges, to look at our marketing strategies and therefore the collateral that goes with our marketing, and to start the process of preparing for the end of lockdown, which, as we said, will be the end of the warming up phase. Now we believe at some point the announcement of lockdown or some form of lockdown will be announced, and we'll have a warming up period. So at that point, we should be ready to start implementing the new marketing strategies with new marketing collateral, and also potentially bring our staff back into work, start getting them trained or retrained into potentially new ways of working. So we know both the training and warm-up phase is a period. We don't know right now how long it would be, but the quicker we come out of the lockdown, the panic, the concern, the freeze rather than fight phase, the quicker we can actually start to prepare now. Now, many of our clients and people we're working with are through that, but many aren't. And this is an opportunity for us to get ahead of our competition. The quicker we come out of the lockdown phase or the concern phase and get into training and warm up, we see this as a real opportunity phase. The quicker we can take advantage of what will be, we believe, once lockdown ends, a sprint. There will be a sprint phase when our clients and our marketplace will start to rebuy, perhaps things they haven't bought for a little while. Now, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but it's likely we need to be focused. We need to have lots of energy. We need our team totally engaged and ready to do that so that we can take advantage of that before we then get to the compete and grow phase, which is probably business pretty much back to normal. Everything's operating. Now, at that point, the more effort and the more thought and strategy we put into training warm-up, the more we'll take advantage of this marketplace. The more we can really come out of this in a better place than we went into it. So for many of us that really take time in this opportunity phase to train, to plan, to strategize, and to change things, the better we are coming out the other side. So just going back to mindset and just to reposition things, and I've shown this particular image every time we've run a webinar the last couple of weeks, because it's just a great fact that Isaac Newton in the mid of the bubonic plague was sent home from Cambridge University, and that was when he did most of his work, when he was in lockdown. So how can we make the lockdown period the time when we do our best work? We've got a choice. We can sit with our head in our hands, or we can actually crack on and make things happen. Andy, I'd see you've got your hand up. Is everything okay? Just seeing Andy Annett, who's going to join us shortly. If you just want to put a comment in if there's any challenge, and let me know. But otherwise, I'll continue. But if you want to put a comment in there, Andy. The other quote I like from Henry Ford himself is, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So from a mindset perspective, we can either panic or we can plan. We can start to see this time of lockdown as an opportunity to think, to strategize, to plan, to change things, change our marketing, change our collateral, look at how we can come out of this stronger rather than just survive it. And the great Jim Rohn, for those of you that aren't aware of Jim Rohn, a great speaker on business and success. A great quote for him: if you don't like how things are, just change it. We're not trees. We have the ability to change. And that's what many of us will do. And the most successful businesses will be looking at how they change, how they pivot. And this is what we're going to talk about today, how they pivot into new ways of working and new ways of developing our marketplaces. And finally, we're going to talk about how you might be able to change. And the challenge can be, you have a choice. You can either believe you can't change, or you can believe you can. So the challenge is, we could go into denial. And as the great Mark Twain said, denial is not just a river in Egypt. We can deny the fact that there is the potential to do so. We're going to talk about a couple of examples how businesses have pivoted, and we've got someone on the call today who's going to take us through how they pivoted very, very quickly and how that's worked for them very effectively. So here's the choice as we go through this. You can go, well, that's all very well for them, but it wouldn't work for me. Or you can say, how would it work for me? Even some of the ideas may seem impossible for your business. I'm going to ask you to, rather than say, will it work or not work, how would it work? And spend a bit more time thinking about how it might work. Now, for some of the ideas, it won't work, and that's okay. But if we do the how, we're not shortcutting to yes or no. I hope that makes sense for everybody. So the challenge, I think, for many of us is pivoting. The idea of changing things so fundamentally is such a large idea, it's very difficult to actually think about how we might start. Well, there's a great phrase, I don't know if you may or may not have heard of it. How do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. So we're going to start to break things down this afternoon and just spend a bit of time breaking our businesses down into its key component parts, its key segments, and then asking you to think about how you might change each individual part, or which parts could change, and which parts might make a difference and to change and help you get out the other side. So hopefully you can make some notes here, and if you've got any questions, we will answer them through the session. But what I want you to think about right now, we're going to go through each of these individually. What new markets could you address? Now, you may find that the current marketplace you're in has dried up. People don't want what you've got right now. Which other markets might? We have a client down in the south. They were a recruitment company. They were looking at, they primarily supplies mechanical and electrical engineers. Goodness, that's hard to say. And they saw the opportunity that their marketplace started to dry up, and they turned around and said, who else might need people? And they found that Tesco's were clearly recruiting people. And so they've now become one of the largest suppliers of people to Tesco's, not mechanical and electrical, but other people that Tesco's might need. Supermarkets are very, very active right now, as probably most of us are aware, to try and get product delivered and on shelf. Another client in the Midlands was one of the largest suppliers to the local airport of airplane cleaners. So these are the people obviously come on after we get off the plane to clean it in a very quick fashion. Now, obviously, again, in that industry, with all the airlines grounding their planes, those people weren't required. And well, that client looked at is who else would need the people I've got. Now, one of the niches they found, and they've re-pivoted everybody, and in fact they've recruited more people right now, is that a lot of the supermarkets they're pretty much delivering 24/7. So the delivery drivers, you'll find that the vans are on the road all the time, and at the changeover, one driver would get out, pretty much another one would get in. Now, quite rightly, the unions raised an issue of transmission of the virus at that point, and so this client's company is now going in and doing a quick but effective sanitisation of the cabs of the delivery vehicles between the drivers coming in and out. So again, hopefully you can see, there are potential new markets. So other people might need what we've got, but in a different way. Now, what new client types might we develop if we look at what makes an A-grade client for us? So what are our best clients? So if we're going to move and pivot, let's try and find more of better clients, or clients that are actually going to give us more profit, more cash, and more success. So I'd ask you to break your client base down into different sections, try and group them together and see which ones are the most effective, the most efficient, most profitable for you, and see if we can find more of those. What new products and services could we market and sell to our existing client base? So our client base consists of people that know, like, and trust us, and maybe they'd be interested in other products and services alongside or instead of the current products and services they're buying from us. So how could we pivot? One of the simple ways of doing that, ask them. Now, some of them won't be available to speak right now. Some are actually got a lot of time on their hands, so they may well be open to understanding what you can do for them and how you can help for them, how you can help them best moving forward. And maybe it's something that's totally different what you do, but maybe they just appreciate the help of somebody helping them find new products, new services that fit their need right now. So rather than keep necessarily selling into a marketplace that doesn't need what we've got, let's look at maybe what other products and services our clients need. Now, interestingly enough, when we look at different people we work with, and we make some businesses provide a generic product to a broad market. Others a much more tailored product to a specific market. Now, maybe the pivot is I go from generic to specific. Maybe I find amongst my client base which ones are buying the sorts of products that I offer, or services that I offer, and make those more tailored for those clients. So when I previously have been general, maybe I get specific. And the pivot could be for another organization that's very niche, very specific, rather than go for tailored, maybe for more generic. And we're seeing one or two of our clients currently working in specific industries, or have been working in industries that have slowed down or stopped. They're now pivoting into being more generic services. They take the services that they offer and say, who else will need these services? So how can that work in your business and your organization? Now, many of you are still saying, well, that isn't going to work for me, and I get that. And the session towards the end of this hour is designed to help you at least try and find some ways. So if we're looking at where we might pivot, which markets we might pivot into, which markets are booming now? So which markets really need people? Now, I've mentioned supermarkets. If anyone wants to put in a chat box any markets they know are booming, I'm going to suggest, as I said, people like the supermarkets clearly need people, clearly potentially therefore might need technologies, might need ways of doing things more effectively. We're also looking, unfortunately, one of the big industries that's going to have a high demand. Obviously, the hospitals right now need people, need services, may need products, may need more people, unfortunately. And the takeaways delivered, absolutely. And we're going to come on to Andy shortly. So takeaway businesses, food businesses, they will be booming in terms of providing they can provide a delivery service, for instance. So how might that happen? Unfortunately, we will see the undertaking industry increase or boom, if you like, over the next few weeks and months, because we know the situation. I don't really go into that in a lot of detail, but we're also seeing, as a collateral of that, things like cold storage industries being required more and being readied for action, I guess, over the next few weeks and months. Not something that's a great thing to do. Online industries. So yeah, Wendy, absolutely. Online businesses will start to boom, especially if they can deliver their products and service online in an effective way. So please, if you've got any ideas, please, I think delivery services, Christopher's also talked about delivery. Please think of ideas, because they might help others. If they don't help you,
education and training, absolutely. The idea that education will stop right now is a fallacy. All our children right now are learning, and they're learning through the school's portals. But maybe there's other options for people's children or adults, obviously, to learn more. I strongly recommend, wherever you are right now, you think about what things you need to learn that will help you move into this new era and start to learn them. So if you are an educator, then there's a hell of an opportunity right now to start to find a bigger, wider marketplace. So which markets will boom in the sprint phase? So think about some are booming now, some will boom when we actually start to move out into the broad wide world. Now, I know personally that one of the things I'm going to be doing a lot of once we come out of lockdown is to go to lots of sporting events. I love to go to sporting events. I'm already feeling a little bit a bit into withdrawal symptoms for not doing so. So I suspect sporting grounds are going to be very, very popular. They're going to boom in terms of the attendances. What are the collateral industries? Again, perhaps food and food vans, etc. Educated diet industry. I think you're absolutely right, Wendy. I suspect as a nation we'll all put on a few pounds on average over the next few weeks and months, because we're probably unlikely to exercise quite as much as we have to date for many of us. So dieting, people may come out into the sprint phase, say, great, now what do I do? Dieting, the gyms are going to be full again. What does that mean? Maybe gym clothes. One of our clients designs websites and systems for gyms. They're already growing. Brilliant, because gyms know they're going to come out of this with more and more clients. In fact, I must look at my own. Again, I don't know where they are with memberships. So we've got the sprint phase as well. And which ones will boom in the compete and grow phase? So maybe when we come out of all of this, what might be the industries that we could address that will boom in that compete and grow phase? Now, I honestly believe that the socio-economic landscape will change, and we will do things differently socially and in a business or business-wise moving forwards. I suspect things like social distancing will become a little bit more of the norm. If I don't need to mix so closely with people, maybe I won't. So maybe there's some just hygiene-oriented products or services that might help people, because I guess there may be a fear of something, either this coming back or a piece of something similar. I think it's opened our eyes to what might happen in the future. Online personal training, Andy, yeah, great. So your sister's gone from 30 customers to 400 globally. So brilliant, because we've seen, some of the celebrities doing stuff online, that's great, but the idea of having your own potentially personal plan or somebody you can access to more directly could be really valuable. There are opportunities everywhere. And as we've said before, we're not necessarily talking about one massive pivot from one market to another or from one delivery or product to another, but maybe lots of little ones. So hopefully we're going to talk about how we break your business down and get you to think about each particular area. Are there a number of different changes that could add up to a bigger and better result? And the other one is strategic versus tactical. So right now, I think there's a lot of tactical changes. How can we sell different products into the same market? How can we sell our existing products and services into new markets? Now, strategic could be, if you take a bigger, wider picture and say where we're going to be in a year's time, what does it look like as we go through those phases? There may be new things to do, different ways of operating. Now, I personally believe for a number of businesses, quite a few, there's a real opportunity as we come out of this, and we see this in a recessive cycle, is that unfortunately the weaker businesses may not survive, and therefore either those businesses may be up for sale, either now or at some point soon or in the future. But if they unfortunately go out of business, then their clients are available. The clients will be looking for businesses like ours to fill the void. And the key thing there is being match fit and ready to be able to fill that void. That would give us the opportunity potentially to grow massively in a very short period of time, purely by acquiring either other competitive businesses or the clients of competitive businesses that can't fulfill the client's needs anymore. So please think about this. I just want you to take a step back. We're going to do some work today. We've got a whole planning afternoon tomorrow that you're all welcome to come on board and make a 90-day plan of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So just another way of looking at this, and then we're going to look at a particular example, and Andy Ant's been kind enough to come on board and talk about his
at the way he's pivoted his business so radically in the last week, in just a few days. But I'm going to get his again to make some notes. And if anyone would like a copy of these slides, please let us know. Somebody's got to go. Simon, okay, understand. If you'd like a copy of these notes, please let us know. So marketing, if you look at break your business down to its standard steps, marketing, who are we going to market to? How are we going to connect with them? What channels are we going to use? Are we going online and virtual as opposed to maybe more direct routes that we had before? What's our message? Is it changing? Is it relevant to the current environment and people's fears and concerns? And will it be relevant in the future? Yep, we'll send copies to anyone that would like this, and we are recording this session too. What offers can we make? How can we bundle things together that would make it an offer that somebody would get right now and want right now? Do we need to change our calls to action in our marketing? And what collateral might we need? What graphics? What video? What audio? What blogs? How do we change and make yourself more match fit for the current and future situations? Sales and selling. Who are we selling to? Who's going to do the selling? Maybe it will be different parts of our team. How are they going to do it? Because obviously physical selling is less easy right now. Is it online? Is it virtual? Is it one-to-one, like maybe it's been? Has it been one-to-one? Maybe it's one-to-many. Maybe it's an opportunity to go out to a group of people rather than one by one. Again, what's our offer? How do we guarantee our services? And we may need to change our guarantees moving forward. Maybe we need to change them in a way that's more relevant to the current and new marketplaces. How do we take orders? Again, we'll come back to the work Andy's done, and I know I've been a customer of his over the last couple of days. He's taking payment online, and he's using things like PayPal to speed the process of not needing some of the more complex online payment terms. And I think that was brilliant. There are lots of tools and lots of platforms out there that will allow us to take orders more easily. Making it easy to buy. Now, maybe clients have been used in the past to buy a bigger, wider, broader service. Maybe right now we need to break it into chunks and allow people to buy things bit by bit rather than one large product or service. Maybe there's payment plans we need to make for people right now that are concerned about their cash flow, whether that's personal or business. So that's sales. So now let's go through the whole chain of business. Production. How do we produce what our products or service right now? Who's going to produce it? How are they going to produce it? If we're in a remote and isolated working environment, how does that change what we do? And it's a how, not a can we or can't we. We need to find ways of how we do what we do in a different way. For most businesses, and I totally understand some businesses on here might say that's still impossible. What we've got isn't required anymore. But let's look at what we could do, perhaps. And does the production now match the marketing and sales changes we've made? Because are we promising, do we need to deliver or produce something different to what we've been producing before, and therefore make sure it's all coherent? And obviously, having produced it, we've got to deliver it. So how do we deliver our product or service? Who's going to do it? How are they going to do it? Do we provide it, or well, there are delivery services out there that could provide our product or service? There's obviously online delivery for a more service-based offering. As we've said, webinars and maybe personal training can be done online with as Andy talked about, monthly subscription. Now, if we have zero contact, how do we deliver something with zero contact? And there are lots of ways we can do that. And what would be our mechanisms and our systems that we can prove and guarantee that show that we're doing as much as we can to reduce the potential spread of the virus? And lastly, finance. Who's going to be responsible for finance? How do we get paid for it? How do we get paid for our products and services? How do we make it easier for people to pay us, and whether that's what platforms do we use or what payment plans might we use? Is there an opportunity right now maybe to have payment plans where people are able to take on our products and service now and maybe pay a bit later? Maybe we're able to find a way to finance what we do to ease people through this process. Maybe people out there right now would buy what we've got if they didn't need to necessarily pay right now. Until they've got their own personal finances or their own business finances in order, they may be holding back on purchases that they would make if they felt there was an opportunity to pay a little later on. So I'm going to get you to think about these things. There's a lot there to think about, but the purpose of today is to start to get you thinking and we can have a session in a little while where we can help you as much as we can. Think about your business, answer some questions. We'll do as much as we can to help, but this is more about you deciding how and where you might want to pivot personally. So part of this process, once we've gone through this, is we're going to be thinking about what existing people do we need, what existing people don't we need now. So maybe that is the need. Many of the people we work with have already gone through the layoff and furlough, potentially redundancy route, but probably sensibly done after we've gone through our whole business structure. Maybe we do need some new people. Maybe they're whether they're permanent or not, maybe whether they're employed or contract, or whether they're part-time or full-time. Maybe we need new people in the new world that do different things to help us take our business into this new environment that we're going to take ourselves into. Any questions on that before we move on? We're going to come to a whole workshop to help as many of you as we can, but I'm interested to know, has anybody got any questions on the last couple of slides? There's quite a lot of content there, and we're very happy to send the slides out for you to work through as a step-by-step process. And as we say, we have a 2.5-hour planning session tomorrow afternoon that you could use these slides in to start to get a clear 90-day plan on what you're going to do and how you're going to pivot into the new world. Okay, I can't see any questions. Yep, we'll send a copy of the slides out. I think Pauline's asked for that. That's absolutely fine. So we will send those out. I know it's a lot of things to consider today. It was really, today was about getting you to ask questions of yourself. So we're more than happy to answer some questions today, as I say, but this is about some ongoing working. And if you're still in the lockdown, the panic phase, then maybe it's not the right time for you to be thinking about those things. But I'd suggest the quicker you come out into the planning, the training phase, the planning phase, the strategy phase, the quicker we're going to get ahead of our competition. Because if you're not, your competition may well be. So and again, sorry, what systems might we need? What other systems might we need to take us forward, whether they're online, offline? Okay, so how's it working in the real world? Well, I'd like to bring on board now somebody I've known for quite a long time now, a guy called Andy Annett, who's going to take us through. I'm going to ask him to take us through. I'm going to ask him a few questions about how he's pivoted his business very, very quickly. Now, Andy, for those of you that don't know, he's a world barbecue champion. He's a world barbecue champion, and primarily, I'm going to unmute Andy shortly, and he can tell us better than others. A lot of his business right now, or up until the last few weeks, was primarily out events at clients, client-based events at their sites, whether that was a business event or a personal event or a public event. It was obviously public-based or people-based events, which clearly is going to be a challenge right now. And I'm going to unmute Andy in a second, and how he's pivoted from large group events into food delivered type events. So let's, Andy, I know you're there, so let me just unmute you. Andy, are you there? I'll give you a couple of seconds. It might take just...
Hello, is that better?
Andy, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Welcome. Thanks so much for sparing time. I know you've been incredibly busy, just working on pivoting your business. So, but Andy, I haven't described your business very well, but if you could just describe sort of pre-COVID what your business mainly was, and then obviously people could see the challenges that you faced, and then we'll talk about how you pivoted.
That's fine. Well, firstly, I'm not and never have been a world champion barbecue. I've been second twice.
Oh, excuse me.
So we've done 8 world championships, and we've been British champions 3 times, and we've barbecued in 46 different countries over the past 5 years.
Wow.
Our business is predominantly sort of corporate days, private parties, and that, like you say, at people's own homes and locations. So when we started about 20 years ago as butchers, and then we progressed over into, as the meat business was getting harder and harder to make money, we moved into the hog roast business, about 20 years ago. And at that point, there wasn't many people doing it. The meat business was running alongside it. And the meat business got harder. So the meat business ended up being closed, and we carried on with the barbecue business. And it's gone from there, really. So, yeah, the past 20 years, we've been outdoors doing events all over the world.
Fantastic. And I know from obviously following your career, the photo I've got, I hope there was an okay one for you, but it was the whole, I know you do quite theatrical events. I think you call that the wall of fire, where you've got a vertical barbecue rather than horizontal barbecue, which is pretty spectacular. So tell me a little bit about, just leading up to the last sort of weeks up until obviously we went into sort of semi and then full lockdown, and how you felt about your business, how you could see the things that were going to happen, and
Okay.
how you felt, I guess.
So this year was looking like it was going to be a record year for us. Normally, a lot of our clients, specifically the corporate clients, don't usually book us till sort of quite last minute, maybe up to 6 weeks or 4 weeks before. And what I was finding this year was a lot of the corporate clients were pre-booking us very early in the year, knowing that we get booked up pretty quick. So up until 2 weeks ago, whenever it started, really, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had around just over £200,000 worth of business guaranteed for the year. But for us, that's good, because normally we don't have much already in the bag. We only just start taking the orders. So, that on top of what we normally have would have been a good year for us. And we'd overnight, it had gone, basically. Over 3 or 4 days with a phone ringing saying we're cancelling or postponing, all that business gone. So, or most of it had gone. So I just went into my war room. I've got a little, I've got a summer house in the garden where I could go in there and I sit there and I meditate and I think about my strategy. And I came out of there after spent about 6 hours in there with the plan that we were going to start a delivered service. And from that afternoon, I called our website guy and I told him that we've got less than a week to turn this round. And he thought I was joking. And I said, no, I want an online business up and running within a week. So we actually built a website and we'd got it, I'm not going to say finished, because on Saturday night when we launched it on the Friday, but on Saturday night, I was sat taking orders with one computer, sat with me MacBook Pro on one side and I had my iPad on the other side. And with my iPad, I was on a FaceTime mission, still writing the copy and the coding for the website as we were taking orders with the other computer. And it was just incredible. We had to close the website down after 3 hours because we couldn't cope with the demand on Saturday, which was pretty incredible. Then the Sunday came. We had a debrief at the end of Saturday night, and we changed the system for Sunday, and it worked like a dream. Sunday was like a dream compared to Saturday. We set the whole thing up without one single system in place. We just went for it, and there wasn't many casualties along the way. There was a couple of things where somebody might have had an order, with something missing out of it and everything. So immediately I called, this morning I'm laid in the bath talking to marketing company, talking about having some new packaging made, some branded packaging made. And I've actually got my other iPad open, looking at buying some boxes and stuff for these delivered orders. So we're going to get them out quicker. I think I could probably at least treble what we did on Saturday night. Saturday night was incredible, but with the new system that we've got in place, I think we could at least treble it for this Saturday, no problem at all. Sunday, we had enough produce in on Sunday to serve 10 to 15 times more people than we did, and we served 200 Sunday lunches on Sunday. And I only came up with the idea on Saturday night that we were going to start doing Sunday lunches. So we had to work through the night to put the new script and everything into the website and let people know that we were doing Sunday lunches. And it's all been based from, we haven't marketed it anywhere except my own personal Facebook page. That's where all the customers have come from. nowhere else. So we haven't even looked at the broader picture yet. You know, so
Brilliant.
for me, you know, every every wall is a door. We need to find the way of getting through it. And you know, like my sister's got this. She's a personal trainer. She was in trouble because she on a morning she teaches 30 people all at the same time in a school at 6 o'clock in the morning. And overnight, I put her in touch with my webman. I says, get in touch with Mr. Parry, our webman, Simon, and deal with it. Get on with it, Louise. Don't mope about it. Get on with it. And she's cracked on. She's come up with a Zoom concept, which has now been changed. She's professionalised it already in a week, same as what we've done. And she's gone from 30 customers paying £5 or something every morning to 400 customers now globally who subscribe to her at £12. And she got that overnight. She got 200 in one night overnight.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So
there's ways of doing it.
Just incredible.
I think no matter what business you're in, you have got to find a way of just moving 10 degrees to one side and, you know, changing the way that you work. And I've built a new team from nothing. And in the hospitality world, I would say probably 90% of the people have lost their jobs. So as soon as I put an advert out on Facebook that I was looking for delivery drivers and hospitality, I had pick of the crop. So I had a Michelin star chef wanting to come and cook our takeaways because he didn't have a job, but he's still got a wife and family to look after. So I've sort of leveraged that. I've got like the best team around me that I could have had. I listened to, I could go right into this. I'm really sorry. Ferguson, Alex Ferguson.
Andy, what I'd like to do.
Alex Ferguson.
Andy,
sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, Andy, what I'd like to do, I perhaps think to help people best, I'm going to get people to ask you some questions, if that's okay, to get into your mindset, because I know you've got a lot of, you know, I know, and for lots of benefit, you will really benefit people. But what I want to do is to get some questions from people that specifically help. I think Azim's talking about working smart as the way forward. But before we do, I've got a quick question. But even before that, I just wanted a personal picture. That was us yesterday afternoon with 3 amazing Sunday lunches. So, and if I didn't take the photo of the totally clean plates afterwards, Andy, but I have to say they were delicious. We also had the burgers on the Saturday night too. So I'm a personal raving fan. But look, has anyone got any questions for Andy? My first one, just briefly, Andy, is just why, you know, how long did you at any point, and for how long did you put your head in your hands? Because I think it would be easy to see 200 grand's worth of business disappear overnight. Many people would have done.
So in 2008, when the recession was in, we had a unit up in Ripon and just doing the barbecue events. And the recession came in, and again, overnight, we lost all the business. And that was sort of 10 years ago. That's when I put my head in the hands and went, oh my God, what we're going to do. At that point, I lost the business, I lost my house, I lost the car, I lost my family, split with the wife, lost my daughter, I lost everything in my life. And I spent 1 year traveling around with a barbecue company, planning what I was going to do when I came back. And when I came back, the top of my list was, that is never, ever going to happen to me ever again. And it was a case of, so this time when it's happened, I'm actually thriving on it. When you asked how are you feeling at the moment, I put 10 out of 10. Yeah. Because I hit a challenge like this, and it's just a challenge. I just have to move a few degrees to the side and change what we're doing slightly, and it makes all the difference. We're not have to make massive changes. You know, it's just okay. It is a big change, but it's not, if you know what I mean. We're still doing what we did, but in a different way.
Great, totally get that. Wonderful. So a couple of questions. Do you think your business will be sustainable after lockdown is lifted?
I actually can't wait till lockdown's lifted, because I'm already planning for when lockdown's lifted. We're going to carry on doing the Andy Anna Delivered. So I think I'm going to end up with 3 new businesses from this, because we were planning on doing a drive-through. We were just about to set up a temporary drive-through, but
Wonderful.
But this was just before they started like saying the cars weren't allowed to go out and stuff anymore and all that sort of thing. So I'm actually pleased that I held back with that. But that is going to something that we're going to go forward with. The other thing is, I was actually finding it hard to, because a lot of people expect me to be at their event. They pay big money for us to go to, say, a corporate day or a private party, and they expect me to be there. So I'm finding it hard because there's only one of me to do more than one event that day because people wanted me to be there.
Yes.
But with Andy Annett Delivered, they can now book a hog roast with 48 hours notice, delivered to your house for your party of 50.
Yeah.
Just delivered in, do it yourself.
So that's interesting because you and I were talking before this challenge about how you would diversify and become from being the man right at the front all the time. So this has almost enabled that. This challenge almost enabled you to move into that almost as part of your pivoting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the other thing I was about to do before all this started, I was looking at the food truck idea because I was getting between 20 to 40 inquiries per day from big companies saying, can you just bring your food truck to us as like a corporate day for lunchtime for 200 or 300 people for these big companies. And we were just about to launch this and we were starting to look at the vehicles and all the rest of it before this had gone on. So we've held back with that. But my new thought behind what's gone on afterwards is we're going to still get the food trucks and we will still do that, whether people come out or whatever, but also use the same food trucks on a weekend to go around the houses like an ice cream van would. So you can come up, you'll ring the bell, you can come up, you can get your burger, you can get your pulled pork, you can get whatever you want or your drinks from a food truck on your street.
Wonderful. Love it. Love it. Thank you. That's awesome. So, Mark said, Andy, you mentioned that you wrote some new script for your website and inquiries came very quickly. How did you drive the traffic into your website?
So the only way the traffic has come to our website is through my personal Facebook page. I've got roughly 3,000 followers on my personal Facebook page and around 3,000 followers on my business page. And we just use that. That is the only platform that we've been working from right now. Now, I've been talking to the web guy this morning about driving more traffic to us. But I've told him at the moment, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'd like it to grow organically. Because as soon as I press the button for us, let the floodgates open, I need to make sure that I've got the infrastructure in place to handle with it. Because what happened on Saturday was I had 8 delivery drivers in on Saturday and we couldn't cope with the demand. We had to turn the website off after 3 hours. So I need to build the infrastructure in first before we let the floodgates back open again. And I would prefer to grow this one just now organically, you know. But yes, it was just through social media.
Great, thank you. So a couple of quick ones. So Azim's just obviously very impressed and always learning. So you're clearly always learning from the past experience and improving them. And well done, good on you. And just did you? How many of your original staff did you retain? Did you keep the ones that you had, or had you already let some go, or what was?
Okay, so because of what happened in the last recession, I learned lots of things, and with our event business, what I did learn was I didn't need to have full-time staff. So I took some advice a few years ago, and I didn't take some advice. I listened to a wise man, and that's what I did. And I decided to make our business very, very lean. And although it looks like we've got quite a big corporate company, there's only Penny and myself that are actually full-time in the business.
Right.
And we have a pool of around 100 staff, university students, people that want to work on weekends, like people that might be a chef at the hospital during the week and they've got the weekends off and stuff. And we book all these people in through our events throughout the year. So which means right now I'm lean. I don't have the big business premises to look after. I don't have all that. We are lean. You know, I could probably ride out this recession or this problem that we've got right now without even having to step out the door anyway. But for me, I see a new opportunity to, you know, expand on the business, and I reckon we're going to get 2 or 3 new businesses from this.
Wonderful.
It's like 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. But once this is all finished, I'm ready to elevate myself. I've already seen 4 of my competitors drop by the wayside. It's as soon as you give in, that's when you don't succeed. And there's no way I'm not going to give in.
Agreed. Right, absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Will you just stay? I'm going to mute you for a little while, Andy, but we're just going to ask people about their challenges and see any ideas. So I'd be keen if you'd be kind of stay on for another 5 or 10 minutes and just see what ideas we can help people with. I will mute you just for now if that's okay. Just to so I'll just do that. Thanks so much, Andy. Yeah, might sound really inspiring story, and thank you. And I can't thank you enough. I've known you for a long time, and I know you overcome challenges, and it's just it was amazing, but not surprising that you've done this, Andy. So thank you so much. And yeah, we've got some really great quotes coming through. If you look, Andy, they're on the chat box. So please take a lot from that. So thank you. Okay, guys. So thank you, Andy, so much. So just towards the end of this session, I just wanted to throw this open to everybody. Anyone feeling challenged? Now, we've got a planning day tomorrow. I urge you to come on that tomorrow because we'll have a bit more time to share. But anyone got any challenges saying, look, all that's, it's brilliant that other people are doing it, but I'm really struggling to see how it would work for me. And let's just see if we can get some ideas out there. If anyone's got any right now, if you don't, that's okay. We are, as well as the 90-day planning session, we're doing individual gifted coaching sessions. So if you are not sure and you'd just like to speak with us for a little while, we're really happy to help. Pauline says, brilliant, Andy, well done you. I've had a similar journey, it brings the best out of you. Well, yeah, I'd certainly second that. Okay, we're not getting anything through at the moment, so hopefully either what we've gone through today has really helped. Yeah, great. Thank you. So hopefully what we've done today has really helped. We do have the 90-day planning session tomorrow, and we've got the gifted coaching session. So I'd really like you to take advantage of those, just see how we can help you. Okay, well, we don't think we've got anything, so I'm going to just take you through just to let you know what's coming up. Turning on my online courses into so Bridget spent the weekend turning online courses into a more accessible package. Great, making them more accessible, more easy to buy. That's brilliant, Bridget. I definitely agree. I suggest that's great. It is what I need to. Oh, right, sorry, I see. I've spent the weekend turning by my online courses into a more accessible package. Marketing is what I need help with. Sorry, any advice, please? Okay, well look, Bridget, if you're there, let me just unmute you. And let's just have a quick chat, if that's okay. Bridget, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Well, thank you for asking the question, because obviously, hopefully, we can help with that. And so you've turned your online courses into more accessible packages. So just briefly, what does that mean?
Right. To give you a bit of an insight into who I am, I'm an artist. I work with making felt pictures. For the last 6 years, I've been running workshops teaching people how to do what I do. And I've had people from all over the world coming to them. And obviously, all these courses that I have had planned, a bit like your friend there, Andy, basically disappeared overnight up until November. So I've had to pay back people a lot of money too. So I have a couple of online courses that are on my website. And over the weekend, I've put them together as one package, as a bundle, and I've reduced the price by £70 for the bundle. And I've done that, and I put it out last night, and I've got about 3,000 people on my Facebook page, hoping to kind of make it more accessible to them so that they can actually entertain themselves and do stuff that they love doing. However, I need to really market it more strongly because financially I really need this help.
Yeah. Okay. And what marketing channels do you market at the moment?
My Facebook page is my biggest marketing tool. I do have Instagram, and I also have LinkedIn, which I do get dribbles through, but mostly Facebook. Okay. So I'm also with a website called Craft Courses, other than my own website.
Great. Okay. So you've got another website too. So just a couple of quick things then. have you tried? Obviously, you've got Facebook advertising, which would allow more people to see your page, your site, your offers. Have you tried that at all?
I have been doing that in the last couple of months anyway, because obviously coming up to this situation, there's been like a fallback anyway with people with Brexit booking luxury items. So I have been trying Facebook ads, and my retreats were really filling up with those. So I had some success with it.
Great. And how many? Well, that's great. So obviously that will be one option. Just Matt, just how many people do you have? How many clients or contacts do you have in your database of people that you've worked with or have inquired about what you do?
Well, I did have 800 before the GDPR situation. I now have about 360.
Okay. So one simple, very cheap opportunity is things like referrals. So suggesting your client that if they refer you to somebody that comes on board and takes a course, they might have some they may do some form of referral reward, which could be anything from financial to you both get a complimentary course, or some way of bringing them on, and quite often it's bring a friend. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you've had people, you've got raving fan clients, they often just need a prompt to actually tell lots more people. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else got any ideas out there? I'm going to think of some more while we're online, but those would be a couple. Bridget, if you're able to come tomorrow, we can spend a bit more time thinking about that if you're available tomorrow afternoon. Don't feel obliged, but
I do hope to. We've had. I was trying to get to your previous webinars, and it seems to be crisis after crisis going on. My husband has been found out he was laid off last week when I was due to join your webinar.
Right.
And my daughter the previous time. So it's kind of one of those situations where I will try and make it, but I just never know what's going to hit home next. But thank you. I will try.
Great. Let's do that. And if you'd like a coaching session, just let us know. Charlie suggested obviously the boosting the Facebook post, so that there's obviously Facebook advertising, but there's also purely a boost, which again, for us in general is low, potentially low investment levels with a reasonable return, depending on the key thing with all forms of marketing. And hopefully, got that is measurement. Is knowing what return you're going to get if you spend £20 boosting a Facebook post. Do you know what return you'll get, or if you have a referral strategy or marketing strategy? So that's the number one with all marketing, is knowing where the referrals come from. Great, thanks. Thank you, Bridget. I'll meet you again. Anybody else got a thing? We will wrap up shortly, but has anyone else got any other challenges? I can't see any. Okay, well, if you do in the next minute or so, we'll cover. Bridget. So here, Bridget, there might be. So, can you offer something for parent and child? Great idea. We've got lots of children at home, so many people looking for so maybe that would be more simple things, Bridget, in terms of I suspect the adults are perhaps more complex, but maybe some more child-oriented stuff. Great idea, Julie. Thank you. Brilliant idea. Okay, well, look, guys, we're coming towards the end of our session. Please, I'd ask you, before you come offline, list 5 things you're going to do to take action today, because coming on this and getting some knowledge and not doing anything about it is pointless. It's a waste of your hour. So please do something. We are offering 15 gifted coaching sessions every week. So even if you just want to ask a question or just have a couple more ideas like we've done now, please book them if we can help you in any way. We've now moved our webinars from not just Friday. We're going to have them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Anything from we will have new content and updates. We'll have interviews with people that are making things happen or can provide information. So please come on them whenever you can. I appreciate some of you might just have him on in the background while you're having your lunch. That's okay too. Just any way we can help you, and please let us know. We've got the 90-day planning session we're going to repeat tomorrow because several people couldn't make it and really want to make it. Starts at 12:30. We'll finish by 4, and you'll come out of that with a clear plan of action for what you're going to do over the next quarter. And we're focusing, as you know, on planning and pivoting and not panicking. So really, it's free if you can't afford it. It's gifted. If you can afford it, then we have some proposed rates there on the session. But I'd rather you come than not come. So please come, even if you have, even if the gifted rate is what's right for you. We'll send you an email at the results of this today, just so you can click through to the links that you want.
So finally, any before we're just going to ask you how you're feeling, you just get you to mark yourself out of 10 again. Any questions before we just go to that last phase? We're just getting you, just good to just see how everyone's feeling. I can't see any questions. Andy's 10 out of 10. He's still 10 out of 10. He's actually 11 out of 10. I'm pretty sure, Andy, just in general. I think Andy's an 11 out of 10 type kind of guy. Well, look, then, if you haven't got any questions, just think about how you're feeling. Mark yourself out of 10, and any phrase that comes to mind. It's great just to get some great feedback from you about how things are working. Bridget's a 4. Okay, Bridget, I'm sorry, that's a low. Pauline's an 8. Nathan got 7, got a new idea. How can I help other business pivot quick? How you can help them pivot. Brilliant, Nathan. We have a video recorded on a YouTube channel that you might want to send people. You're more than welcome to about this process that I went through. It was the technical challenge we had earlier where it had the commentary still in there. You're very welcome, Damien. Lee, great to see 8. Damien, feeling more motivated. That's brilliant. Maybe an 8.6, Jason. That's wonderful. We must catch up, mate. Let's catch up this week. I'd love to hear how you're getting on and how we can help. Well, thanks for everybody. We're just a minute overrunning. Thanks again for your time. We're on tomorrow 12:30 for planning, and we'll be on Wednesday with a new webinar with new content and new people. Mike, fired up. Great stuff. Lovely to hear. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, guys, have a great day. We'll see some of you tomorrow, and hopefully the rest of you on Wednesday. Take care. Bye now.